How much of that is based on like your immediate family dynamic when you grew up, or your environment growing up?
I think it's cultural. And my immediate family. And I can remember Sean being teased. My little sister, she's 10 years younger than me. I was already gone in the military, and her and Thomas were still at home, and people were picking on her and bullying her.
Yeah.
And my brother went to that school and got on the bus. It was like, who coming at my baby sister? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I feel like that's justified, because if we aren't protected, like, we show people how to treat us.
Yeah.
And if we're constantly not being protected, then that sends the message that we're open for anything.
Hey, yo, you sickness and health, riches are broke. Yeah, healthy marriage is dope. Your healthy marriage is dope. Let's work in our dreams, let's heal through our growth. Yeah, healthy marriage is dope.
What's good, fam? Welcome back to Healthy Marriage is Dope, the podcast. I am one of your hosts, Derek.
I'm your other host, Kisha.
And this is a podcast where we talk about all things marriage and relationships, specifically our marriage, because that's the only marriage that we are experts on. And we struggle with that day to day to actually be experts on that. But this is what that podcast is about. If this is your first time coming into contact with our content, we appreciate you. Please like and subscribe, follow us, and help this family grow. That's what we want to do. But we always start off with a little chit chat.
I'm gonna let that tongue tie slide.
I get 3 every episode. I got 2 left.
All right.
I got 2 left. You starting already. You see, I didn't built out this whole studio. It's never enough people. You build out an entire studio, and she's still on me about my tongue ties. I almost did it again. But we start with a little chit chat.
I'm gonna let you continue. Are you finished?
We start with a little chit chat, and it's been a few weeks since we recorded and dropped our last episode. So what's been going on?
Life has been going on. I don't know, man. It's been a very interesting 2022, to say the least.
How so?
It's so many things, y'all. Well, we've had some downs, of course, and I feel like we're both pursuing different things at the same time. I feel like we talked about this before.
Second time you said it.
Huh?
Let's hear it. That's the second time you said it on the podcast.
What, that we're pursuing different things?
Which is not untrue. Yeah.
Right. So we're both really focused on our own things right now. Not that it's not helping the family, but we're both like hyper-focused. Excuse me, look. We're both like hyper-focused. I touched it.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I do agree. I mean, I think it's healthy. I think we're in better communication now than we were the first part of the year.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Agreed.
We had some family challenges that have caused us to mature where we weren't looking to mature at the moment. So it's always something, right? And it's healthy marriage is dope, not perfect.
Right.
So we want to be open and honest about getting through it.
Yeah.
And that's part of the journey, man. We the last podcast that was out, we were talking about our 2022 mindset.
Our goals, yeah.
Yeah, and then we recorded a podcast after that, which was just for us. It told us that we had to figure some things out.
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes, right? When we have some conversations, sometimes it reveals some things that we need to figure out before we can even think about trying to help somebody else.
Right.
So this is not, we don't sensationalize nothing, but we go through our stuff and we get through it. But
right. I also want to insert here that we had our first opportunity. That was my insert. That was my insert.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
That we had a chance to facilitate what do you even call it?
Yeah,
like a marriage
group.
Yeah, for a church. And that was pretty nice. We'll be doing that again.
It was talking about
soon.
Intentionality.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we needed, right? To talk about. But yeah, that was a really great experience. And it's really cool to see how opportunities are developing from the platform and other things that we're doing. So.
Right.
But
and also that we would like to do more of that.
Yeah. I'm very passionate about communicating with people. And for those that knew me up until, probably
2 years ago.
18. Well, when we went overseas, I really had to kind of open up and be more of the social one because our roles kind of flipped.
Yeah.
When we lived overseas.
I felt it more when we got back to the States, but I understand.
It definitely started there.
Yeah.
So I'm the more social one I don't know. You getting back into your
I'm
into
trying.
your social bag.
Listen, I don't be peopling anymore. That's the thing. I just.
Yeah. It's hard to not people when we talking to people, but we're gonna work through that. But
my tolerances are different. I'm sorry.
They've really flipped.
Yeah, my tolerances are very much different.
Before, your problems would be your problems. To be clear, your problems are still your problems. I just offer some conversation on these platforms that might assist. And if it doesn't, we tried.
Right.
But what's going on with businesses? That was the last point of reference. And if anybody's listening, what's it, chronologically? Big word
Come on, big word. Insert definition.
Flawlessly. But what's going on with business? I see you, the people probably see you more active on the socials.
Yes, I'm trying to expand and be more open with what's going on with me. And then I also have all of these different startup things that I want to get into. So that's been occupying my mind. Like, how can I get to this? We went looking at event spaces because that's one of the things that I wanted to do is own an event space. And I really got excited about that last place that we saw. It seemed reasonable.
Yeah, here's a, what's it called?
Aside.
Quick aside?
Quick aside.
I won't go use something else. Here's a confession for me.
Okay.
So my wife wants to do all the things. And I had a hard time interpreting exactly what she was saying. Or actually not even interpreting what she was saying, but allowing her to work it on her time. So when she would say something to me, I would go immediately into, let me figure this out.
Right.
We never really had a long conversation about the effort that I'm putting into it. So it's not like she knew that I was, or you knew that I was actually expending any energy, if at all.
Right.
And I'd start researching that because I think she's passionate about it, which she is. And then another conversation, whether it's the next day or the next week, is introducing a new idea. And that would frustrate me. I'm like, I thought we were just talking about this other thing and I'm down a path trying to figure it out. But she didn't ask me to figure it out. Some of it was just about conversation, that these are things that I think make sense and that I'm thinking about, right? And I put it on myself to actually start, like I'm assigning dollars to it and thinking this and that, and it's not what she asked for, right? And I was kind of resenting her for having new ideas, which is stupid, right? I mean,
because I have a million of them.
Yeah, and so do I. And honestly, getting around my new business partner, we have this conversation all the time about how we have so many ideas, and I'm like, well, that's what my wife was saying to me. So, shout out to my new business partner that we were able to soundboard that and get that off.
Yay.
But just to, guys, sometimes the conversation is just about the conversation.
And right? I still want to do all of the things that I'm telling you. It's just, I understand that what realistic looks like. Yeah.
So I was trying to force a timeline on her that she wasn't suggesting was actually the timeline.
Right.
So, well, what is, you want to talk about what some of those things are?
Sure.
Like your top three.
Oh.
Or can you,
there's one that I'm going to just lightly put it in there. Okay. So definitely the event space and the luxury outdoor dining business that will go along with that.
Sure.
I would like to own a laundromat, and I'm going to leave it at that because all of the details are
exclusives.
Pretty amazing.
NDAs coming soon.
And of course, with my books, I've been talking about these dang books forever, but there's a extensive amount of add-ons that I would like to happen with those as well. Like cartoon, dolls, like a whole situation with them. So those are my top three. Yeah. And of course, continue my accessories business. I'm expanding that and doing all that. But the bigger money things.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What about you?
I was about to say my top three, you asked?
Yes.
It's all content creation. Well, centered around content creation. So as you can see, if you're actually enjoying the visual experience, we're getting way more intentional about what the look and feel of any content that I'm associated with and how it goes out. And again, being able to partner with a like-minded individual, another strong Black brother that just wants to do the right thing with the right people, it's expanded our capability as it relates to content. Yeah. So I want to make sure that you have access to that so things look like we have a look, right? It's all of it ultimately is family name related. So I want to make sure that that people associate us with quality.
High quality.
Yeah, high quality. Yeah. So my focus is, of course, this podcast, the Dear Son podcast, which trying to reintroduce that as the Dear Son show, because it's not just limited to an audio platform, and it's
a production.
It is a production, and further building out and placing that on the network. So I've established a network, the Dear Son Network, building out the channel right now, starting with Roku. When you're listening to this, it'll probably be available. I've been on the fence about allowing the public to grow with me through the channel, because I got this thing about everything needs to be perfect, and I don't want it to just look like anything, and it doesn't. But I think I'm going to allow people to come along for the journey, right? So if you search now Dear Son Network on Roku, you will find it. Also pursuing it on Amazon Fire, and we'll see what the process is for Apple and other platforms coming. But it's, we want to put quality content out there. For me specifically, it's about helping men see themselves and other men differently and in a better light, and making sure that there's content that addresses our needs, whether that's serious or light. It's going to be a lot of it. So that's what I'm excited about. That's the river. There's a bunch of streams coming off of it. Of course, Healthy Marriage is Dope apparel. Still passionate about that. This is 1 year anniversary on the recording date.
Really, today?
Yeah, it released April 1st.
Shut the front door.
Of 2021. So
High five.
So more and better and greater things coming with that. I'm in a real good place. All challenges considered, I really like where I am personally, where we are as a family, and it's going to be interesting to see how this story plays out.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Asides aside.
All the asides aside.
All the asides aside.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about a related topic to a very popular trending event, and I won't go into it. Topic will definitely, you'll understand what it is, but the thing that happened this week that the world talked about for all of 38 minutes got me thinking about, like, we never really had a conversation in terms of what is your expectation of me to protect, what that looks like, and protect you from. There are things that I think, some of it may be overreaching and some of it may not be enough.
Right.
And do I have an expectation of you to protect me from anything, or in conversation, how we act with each other? But just like, what are your thoughts on, I guess, the construct of a man protecting a woman, or specifically in our marriage, like what those expectations are, like come to your rescue, the whole, is the knight in shining armor still a thing, or what does it look and feel like to you?
For me personally, I don't feel like chivalry is dead in my hemisphere. I still expect the doors being open. I still expect.
Bet that. And they would copy that? Is that
copy
no?
Copy that? Oh
okay,
my God.
All right.
So I still expect the same things that my father does for my mother. You know what I mean? I am your wife and you are the head. So if we go traditionally, there are, I can't with this guy.
Copy that.
Stop it. There are, I won't say gender roles, but I'll say there are roles that we have taken on for each other. And so, no, I'm not a damsel in distress. However, I do have my husband to protect my honor and protect my reputation in these streets. So that's what I expect.
And that's really just on period. But
who is this?
But what I want this, but what is it situationally? Have we been in a situation where you felt like you were disrespected and I didn't address it in a way that you felt was sufficient?
No, I can only think of one instance in where I was blatantly disrespected in the midst of a bunch of different people. I don't even know if you remember this. We were at a friend's house in Smithfield having a meeting, and I was responding to one of the questions, and someone of the opposite gender stood up to respond to me.
I remember.
I understand. I'm just giving the details.
I'm just saying I remember my reaction. I thought you were saying I didn't have a reaction.
No. I remember your reaction. That's the only that I can think of. And okay, so it did not become physical. It wasn't anything like that. It was
The invitation was sent for. We're both better men now. I am for sure.
But it was I don't even think it was a physical. I mean, he made himself bigger so that I could feel small in the situation. I feel like it was very confrontational, and I can hold my own ground, but it was nice to know that I had someone who had my back in that instance, and I didn't have to do it. I didn't have to be masculine in that situation. I could be feminine.
And it led to a conversation between me and him. Like, I didn't just, my reaction wasn't physical, but his reaction, like, it escalated. We kept trying to out-escalate each other. And then, like I said, the invitation was sent. And the only thing I shouldn't even say regret, but the chapter never finished the chapter on was he responded that I'm not about that.
But is that
I know. And I feel myself going back to the moment. But at the moment, the invitation was valid. We didn't get to it, but is there an escalation path where you think it should become physical, or being physical, you understand it? Like,
I get physical sometimes. Now, I know we're supposed to keep our hands to ourselves now. We all learned this in preschool. However, you're not going to threaten my kids. Yeah. You're not going to threaten my family. You're not going to play about me in my face.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Like,
how much of that is based on like your immediate family dynamic when you grew up, or your environment growing up?
I think it's cultural. And my immediate family. I can remember Sean being teased. My little sister, she's 10 years younger than me. I was already gone in the military, and her and Thomas were still at home, and people were picking on her and bullying her. Yeah. And my brother went to that school and got on the bus. It was like, who coming at my baby sister? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I feel like that's justified, because if we aren't protected, like, we show people how to treat us. Yeah. And if we're constantly not being protected, then that sends the message that we're open for anything.
Yeah. I always struggle with the line, like, how do my sons know when the line is crossed? Right. We had the incident when Donovan, our oldest son, was first grade, kindergarten. He was in the right. He didn't want to play with another kid and a group of kids, and he wanted to do his own thing because they were getting a little rough or whatever. And he was trying to get away. He was like, "I don't want to do this." Right. I'm sure he used some other words at 6 or 5, whatever he was. Right. But the story, as told by all parties involved, was he didn't want to be involved with it. He tried to run. He was leaving the situation. They started chasing him. He started running. He got tired of running. He turned around, broke down, axe kick. Right. He was in Taekwondo or whatever. Jiu-jitsu. Okay. The thing was jiu-jitsu. Yeah. At that time, he went to where his training was, right, and even his training was avoid the situation. So at 5, he processed it the right way from the information that we got, but he felt like he was being threatened. He had to put them paws on him, right? And we get to the school. I am anxious. Please tell me, what are we doing? Right? And the school, we have a policy.
0 policy, right?
Recant the story, recall the story. So he left, right? He was trying to get away. What are we talking about? Right? To speed it up, me and him went and got Slurpees afterwards, and I told him everything was fine with what he did. Right. But what is that? If you suppress that so long and you go your whole life taking stuff from people, at some point it erupts, and it's cool to say, use your words, or you don't do that, but without the context of all the things that led to that point, I think we have whatever's less than less information to judge the specific event as a society. But again, it points me back to my life. Like, what am I telling my son? Right. Like, what am I demonstrating to you? What am I demonstrating to my daughters? Because all of that stuff it becomes a reference. And if dad won't stand up for me, do they look for another guy that demonstrates those same qualities or won't demonstrate a will to protect? So that's what really got me in my head. It wasn't so much about the actual video, because I didn't even watch. I don't watch the shows anyway, you know that. But
I feel like it's such a multifaceted topic, though. Like, yes, it was a wrong place type of thing. That, I mean,
yeah,
based on what society is saying. Mm-hmm. However, we're also scrutinized on a whole different level than everyone else is. Like, him raising his voice probably would have been too much because angry black man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it's important for our kids to understand not only, okay, feel your feelings, respond in a way that protects yourself, but also know that the consequences may be different for you than everyone else.
And sometimes the arrest happens at the scene of the crime, right? So sometimes justice is immediate and swift, and I'm not correlating that. That's right. It's analogous, right? Another big word, analogous.
Analogous?
I mean, my big word.
I don't even know what that is.
Bag.
But okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that I need to be more intentional about those conversations with our sons for sure. Mm-hmm. And I wonder what our daughters think, like in terms of, because I think it's clear, call me, right? Call you there. Something going on, whatever it is. If you're in the right or you're in the wrong, call me. I'm coming. Mm. But I don't know that we definitely haven't had a conversation about what's reasonable,
right?
What's not.
What crosses the line. I know you good for a mean mug, bro. You good for
I'm working on my face, man.
A mean mug and a side eye.
Yeah, I'm working on my face, but I'm trying not to. It's not even a hard thing to try, but it's the more mature I get and I start to process things before I react or try to respond versus react. Mm-hmm. Like people stupid. Like people do a lot of stupid stuff. Yeah, people gonna people indefinitely, and it's a challenge, right? It's definitely a challenge as a black man, and that opened my eyes. That dialogue around the situation opened my eyes wider to like what black women deal with. Right.
Child.
And
Grin the bear.
What your hair means to you and that and all that kind of thing. So,
yeah.
I mean, just want to do a quick tap in, reintroduce ourselves to the people.
Hey guys.
We're back. We're back
doing?
At it again. I hope you guys appreciate the production. We are going to get back into a rhythm. Let us know what you want to hear, what you want to talk
That's
about.
What I was about to say.
We'll say it then.
No, go ahead.
No. Use your words. If they're your words, go on say
Stop it. I can't.
Go on say it.
I was just going to say, guys, make sure you leave in the comments what you want
let us know what you guys want us to talk about.
From us.
If there's anything that...
Carry on.
Oh, I was going to go ahead.
I'm done.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's it? Check out the merch at You don't have to say www no more, do you? johnsandcompany.com. johnsandcompany.com is where you will find all of our merch. We hope you guys are checking back in with us. We don't apologize for the break because we needed it so that we can be healthier in our conversations and hopefully help you. That's all. That's it. We appreciate you. You want to say something different because that's my trade. That's my thing.
I was about to throw my piece out.
Oh, the other problem is, so we don't have mics in front of us. So Kisha routinely knocks over a mic trying to say peace when it's my thing. And we've already agreed that it's my thing. But for whatever reason, she has to flail her arms to do it. So you can flail, but it's not going to have any impact.
I get it.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. I just want to.
All right. We appreciate you guys. God bless you. Peace. Jive turkey. It's a wrap.
I want to say peace too.